I think art just, been always on the side, starting with music, following in my finance career when I also got engaged in the blockchain and DeFi and let's say like crypto and new untraditional and unconventional ways in finance, where I also saw that somehow this technology can reflect on what is going on in the art world, to represent works by the artists that work with AI, machine learning, code, algorithmic art, or let's say use of cutting-edge technologies. At some point, opening up my own gallery, it was more like not repeating the same models in all the senses, if you know what I mean, but finding new type of relationships that you can build with artists, new type of art that you can actually show, the type of relationships and how you can engage with community and new generation of collectors. And I think that's where art and tech kind of played a vital role. What's the core of a creative tool if it's natively digital? Like how myself as a collector can engage with this art on a different level, not just by transferring the file through Dropbox or USB or by playing the videotape in the recorder. And I think, with the blockchain, we found many answers, at least myself as a gallerist, where you could prove provenance, you could prove digital scarcity of a file, and you could engage with the community on a very fast way. And it's captivated me because also what I've seen in traditional finance and also other sectors, for me, it felt like the traditional models, whatever sector we're talking about, no longer would probably work as good as it used to work. And we have to look into the future, and the future is technology and innovation. When we are talking about something new, if it's a technology or anything, what emerging, people, if they don't know it, they do fear what's coming. So in order to, let's say, educate and be open and to build trust, you have to be there, you have to be open, you have to meet and greet. You have to be present for the audience, that they can build the trust together with you. And I think that's one of the biggest reasons, why to show those type of art. Back in time in 2016-17 was very important to engage with the audience in physical exhibitions. At the same time, 2017-18, we still didn't have enough platforms, enough, let's say, beautiful digital screens, also to engage with the audience in any other way, or to show the wider audience that this is an artwork. So yeah, I think, the dialogue, the real conversations, tete-a-tete, are very important. And even though it's natively digital work, it doesn't have to be presented just purely digital, or it can be performance, it can be interactive work, it can be animation, it can be on a screen, it can be as a print, it can be on canvas, it depends on the whole idea and the concept of the work. It can be also just light and the presence of the moment and the perception of how you see this work in this particular moment. Since I was the only one who was truly interested from the beginning, I had to find all the artists and approach them and collect them. First of all, you have to support the artists that you believe in. I think that's an important part of the journey. For me, every collaboration I've made, every exhibition I curated has been very important, and it's like a time capsule. And I think it's also a milestone for many artists because, let's say, we gave birth to many emerging artists and now they're established artists. It has a huge history, digital art. It's not just born yesterday. So for me, it's out of question that it is already recognized and it is a part of our culture as a contemporary art, and it has to be recognized by even more people, let's say. But I think there is a moment definitely now, since 2021, I think, which kind of accelerated the acceptance of digital art due to pandemic and lockdown, where people were forced to look and collect via online tools. And probably that was the milestone when the whole system kind of shifted. The contemporary art that I live in Web3, I think, we see big diversity in, like, let's say, a blend of AI, on-chain aesthetics and data together, and ethics as well. But at the same time, we also see environmental impacts and community engagement at the same time, when we talk about the Web3 culture. So I wouldn't say that what I see the trend for the future is not only just a style. I think it's the whole system shift, and also how we engage with art and how we collect art. So I think that's the biggest trend. I think we will see both traditional art galleries will evolve, and of course, we have already seen the new, let's say, ecosystems emerging, not only galleries. And the way we approach, again, collecting digital art, I think this is the biggest shift. And it's not going to be just, let's say, only about you collect this particular work as an individual. I think it's also, since the art becomes programmable and the collecting becomes like a community-driven sort of performance, maybe we will see collecting digital art also will shift towards the more like co-authoring art as well. For sure, there is something revolutionary that can be still created. I think true artists, the geniuses, always feel time in a different sense from the common people, from, let's say, us, general audience, and I think they feel things and they serve as a fortune teller in a certain way. And they tend to engage with the most interesting tools and the most innovative technologies. And I think nowadays we talk a lot about quantum computing, and I think for me the most interesting artworks, they lie in this field of quantum computing and what can be still achieved in that sense. Because we all talk about artificial intelligence, but it's, let's say, general artificial intelligence, it's not super intelligence. So I think, when we reach the next step, we might see a very interesting conceptual works as well by artists. I think the biggest misconception is still that the digital art is somehow easier, that is generated, not created. And I respond to that I think every medium, from oil to photography, kind of face the same skepticism at some point, and that everybody sees that AI is not an artist, honestly, it's just a brush, it's a lens, it's a mirror, but it's not a creator. And that's, I think, is the biggest misconception. And we still have to believe that the artist is a central figure as a creator and not a AI. AI is just a tool. I definitely feel like we need more infrastructure and more, let's say, tech infrastructure to make this community work better. What I mean by better is probably we have to look back and from what we started in 2017-18 and how we entered this art and tech space, when we were encouraging people to pay royalties, but we were all for the democratization of art, connecting artist and collector, trying to eliminate all the intermediaries like myself, the middlemen and middle women. At the same time, I think the traditional art market model works in a sense that we do need all the components for the ecosystem to work. Like, we need art critics, we need curators, we need galleries, we need institutions, we need art collectors, of course, we need artists. But at the same time, I wish to see that technology is still used to elevate and add value to the space. And of course, for the future, my wishful thinking is that I see more interesting and innovative projects, maybe better presentations of artworks, because again, we need better screens, we need better, maybe not screens per se, but some sort of visualizations that we can use to also present natively digital art, that it speaks for the audience, that it looks good and it feels good, that is very important. So how do I see InkPoster? Well, I actually feel like it's not a gallery, so it's supposed to democratize art in a sense, and I think it's a very important, let's say, platform that will allow people to engage, to collect, to learn, to feel and look, at the art in different perspective. I think it's really beautiful project. Also, that you get the presentation of it and you can live around art that you collect. That's really important.